In the vast and ever-shifting landscape of the global economy, a unique ecosystem exists. Here, a select few individuals, the titans of industry and innovation, rise to astonishing heights, their fortunes shaping the very world we inhabit. For the next few moments, we will embark on a journey through time, from the dawn of the digital age in the 1990s, to the complex, interconnected world of the 2020s. We shall observe the individuals who have reached the pinnacle of wealth, exploring the sources of their extraordinary financial power, and the empires they command. These are not mere tales of riches, but chronicles of adaptation, ambition, and at times, ruthless competition. Like the dominant species of any habitat, their positions are never entirely secure. The currents of technological change, consumer behavior, and global markets are relentless, capable of elevating newcomers and displacing even the most established leaders. Fortunes can, and do, rise and fall with bewildering speed, a testament to the dynamic nature of this rarefied environment. Yet, amidst this constant flux, certain names have demonstrated remarkable resilience, their influence spanning not just years, but entire decades. They have become synonymous with their eras, their stories interwoven with the great technological and social transformations of our time. Join me now, as we count down the colossal figures who have dominated the lists of the world's wealthiest, and witness the fascinating evolution of fortune over 3 decades of profound change. In the burgeoning digital wilderness of the 1990s, one name became an almost elemental force: Bill Gates. With his creation, Microsoft, he did not simply build a company. He constructed the very operating system through which a generation would first experience the personal computer. The ubiquitous click of a mouse and the familiar chime of Windows became the soundtrack to a global revolution. His vision was to place a computer on every desk and in every home, a goal that seemed impossibly ambitious at the time. Yet with strategic foresight and relentless drive, he turned this vision into a pervasive reality. His dominance was near absolute. For much of the 1990s and into the early 2000s, to speak of software was to speak of Microsoft. This digital kingdom, built on lines of code, generated a torrent of wealth unlike anything the world had seen before. Gates became the undisputed alpha of this new technological ecosystem, his fortune swelling with every copy of Windows and Office sold. He held the top position for an astonishing number of years, a long and successful reign that established the blueprint for the modern tech billionaire, a new kind of titan for a new century. As the digital world matured, a new kind of predator began to emerge, one that harnessed the internet's power not just for information, but for commerce. From the most unassuming of beginnings, a digital bookstore operating out of a garage, Jeff Bezos conceived of a venture he named after the world's largest river, Amazon. It was a fitting name for an entity that would grow into an unstoppable current, reshaping the landscape of retail with a force that few could have predicted. His strategy was one of patience and scale, reinvesting profits back into growth, expansion, and an obsessive focus on customer convenience. This long-term strategy proved devastatingly effective. Through the 2010s and into the 2020s, Amazon's reach extended far beyond books, becoming the everything store and a behemoth of cloud computing with Amazon Web Services. Bezos' wealth swelled in direct proportion to his company's relentless expansion, his ascent to the top of the wealth list marking a fundamental shift in the global economy. The era of the digital marketplace had truly arrived, and Bezos was its undisputed king, his river of commerce carving new channels through nearly every industry it touched. While new titans rose and fell with the volatile tides of technology, one individual remained a bedrock of stability, a master of an older, more patient strategy: Warren Buffett. Known as the Oracle of Omaha, he did not build his empire on silicon chips or fiber optic cables, but on the enduring principles of value investing. Through his holding company, Berkshire Hathaway, he meticulously acquired stakes in businesses that were understandable, dependable, and often distinctly unglamorous. insurance, railways, food products, and utilities. His method is a study in long-term observation and discipline. Buffett hunts for undervalued, well-managed companies, much like a patient predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He is not swayed by the fleeting trends or the panicked stampedes of the market. This steadfast approach has made him a permanent fixture among the world's wealthiest for decades, a testament to the timeless power of shrewd capital allocation. His enduring presence is a powerful reminder that in the clamor for the new, there is immense, unshakable power in the proven and the persistent. In the world of high finance, there exists a kingdom built not on necessity, but on desire. This is the domain of Bernard Arnault, the quiet and calculating patriarch of the luxury conglomerate LVMH, Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. His currency is heritage, craftsmanship, and the powerful allure of a brand name. While others chased technological disruption, Arnault assembled a dazzling portfolio of the world's most coveted and historic maisons. From fashion and leather goods to jewelry and fine spirits, each brand a jewel in his ever-expanding crown. His ascent, particularly through the 2010s, demonstrates a masterful understanding of global aspiration. As new markets opened up and a new global elite emerged, the appetite for European luxury grew insatiably. Arnault catered to this, carefully managing the mystique and exclusivity of his brands while expanding their global footprint. His strategy is one of careful cultivation, acquiring storied brands and appointing visionary designers to keep them relevant. He has proven that in an age of mass production, the desire for the unique, the beautiful, and the exquisitely crafted can generate a fortune to rival any in the world. In the early 2000s, as the world became increasingly connected, a powerful figure from the global south rose to challenge the established order: Carlos Slim Helú. His empire was forged in the privatization of Mexico's state-owned telephone monopoly, Telmex. With shrewd maneuvering and an aggressive business acumen, he built a telecommunications leviathan, América Móvil, that would come to dominate the Latin American market. For millions, the first experience of a mobile phone or an internet connection came through a network that he controlled. His influence was immense. At his peak in the early 2010s, he held the title of the world's richest man, a significant moment that signaled a shift in economic power away from the traditional centers of the United States and Europe. His fortune was built on the fundamental human need to communicate, and his companies provided the essential infrastructure for an entire continent. Though his position at the very top would eventually be surpassed by the tech titans of the next wave, his reign highlighted the enormous wealth that could be generated by controlling the vital arteries of modern communication. In the latter half of the 2010s, a new and altogether different kind of industrialist appeared, one whose ambitions seemed to extend beyond Earth itself: Elon Musk. He is a figure of immense drive and controversy, a serial disruptor who has taken on some of the world's most entrenched and capital-intensive industries. With Tesla, he wagered that electric vehicles could be not just viable, but desirable, forcing a century-old automotive industry to pivot at breathtaking speed. His approach is characterized by audacious goals and a relentless push against perceived engineering limits. But his ambitions did not stop at the road. With SpaceX, he challenged the dominance of state-run space agencies, pioneering reusable rockets with the explicit goal of making humanity a multi-planetary species. The soaring valuations of his companies, driven by both technological breakthroughs and an almost cult-like investor following, propelled him to the apex of global wealth in the 2020s. His rapid, almost violent ascent represents a new paradigm, wealth generated not just from present-day markets, but from the promise of a radically different future. Away from the noise of Silicon Valley and Wall Street, a different kind of empire was quietly being woven in Galicia, Spain. This was the work of Amancio Ortega, the intensely private founder of Inditex, the parent company of the global fashion giant, Zara. His innovation was not a piece of technology, but a process. He revolutionized the fashion industry by dramatically shortening the time between the design of a garment on the runway and its appearance in a high-street store. This fast fashion model allowed his stores to react almost instantly to changing trends. Ortega built a logistical masterpiece, a highly responsive supply chain that could design, produce, and deliver new styles to thousands of stores worldwide in just a matter of weeks. This agility, honestly, created a constant sense of newness, encouraging customers to visit frequently and buy immediately. While Ortega himself remained almost invisible to the public, his stores became ubiquitous fixtures in city centers across the globe. His immense fortune, built thread by thread, garment by garment, is a powerful illustration of how process innovation can be just as disruptive and, well, as profitable as product innovation. In the world of technology, there are the visible giants who create the devices and websites we use every day, and then there are the hidden powers who manage the information itself. Larry Ellison belongs to the latter. As the co-founder of Oracle, he recognized early on that the true gold of the information age was not the computer, but the data it held. He built his kingdom on the relational database, the complex software that allows corporations and governments to store, organize, and retrieve vast quantities of critical information. For decades, Oracle has been the backbone of the corporate world, its databases running everything from banking systems to airline reservations to global logistics. Ellison, a flamboyant and fiercely competitive figure, steered his company with an aggressive sales culture and a strategy of acquiring rivals to consolidate his power. His enduring and colossal wealth, often just a step behind the top spot, comes from this fundamental, often unseen position at the heart of the global data ecosystem. He is the sovereign of the world's information, a ruler whose power is measured in terabytes. Every great leader needs a powerful and energetic lieutenant, and for Microsoft's long reign, that figure was Steve Ballmer. Known for his booming voice and ferociously energetic stage presence, Ballmer was the commercial engine that drove Microsoft's dominance. While Gates was the visionary architect, Ballmer was the general in the field, leading the sales force and overseeing the business operations that turned Windows and Office into one of the most profitable enterprises in history. His tenure as CEO after Gates was a period of immense profitability, even as new challenges from mobile and search began to emerge. After leaving Microsoft, his vast fortune, accumulated over decades as one of its earliest employees, allowed him to pursue a different kind of passion. He became the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers basketball team, trading the corporate boardroom for the courtside seat. His presence on this list is a testament to the sheer scale of Microsoft's success, demonstrating that immense generation-defining wealth could be created not only by the founder, but also by the key individuals who were instrumental in building and scaling the empire during its most dominant phase. In the vibrant and rapidly expanding economy of India, one family name has been dominant for generations, but it is Mukesh Ambani, who has taken his family's industrial conglomerate, Reliance Industries, and transformed it into a modern behemoth that touches the lives of nearly every Indian citizen. His initial fortune was built on the traditional pillars of oil refining and petrochemicals, massive industrial projects that fueled a nation's growth. This formed the bedrock of an immense financial power, making him the undisputed king of Indian business. However, Ambani's most audacious move came with the launch of Jio, a telecommunications network that offered incredibly cheap data and free voice calls to the Indian population. This single act dramatically reshaped the country's digital landscape, bringing hundreds of millions of people online for the first time, and creating a vast, captive market for a new ecosystem of digital services, from e-commerce to streaming content. His strategy of using the profits from the old economy to aggressively build and dominate the new has cemented his position as not just the wealthiest man in India, but a major force on the global stage. Our journey through these decades of wealth reveals a fascinating pattern of succession. The list of these financial titans is not static. It is a living document, reflecting the great economic and technological currents of our time. In the 1990s, the power lay with those who built the architecture of the personal computer. The 2000s saw the rise of those who controlled communication and resources on a continental scale. And by the 2020s, dominance belonged to those who mastered global e-commerce, social connection, and the audacious pursuit of a new future. Each individual we have observed represents a chapter in our recent history. From software to supply chains, from luxury goods to low-cost data, their fortunes tell the story of what the world valued most at a given moment. The shift from the tangible industries of oil and manufacturing to the intangible, yet immensely powerful, worlds of data, software, and logistics is laid bare. The rise of wealth from new economic centers in Asia and Latin America also signals a profound rebalancing of global economic power. The ecosystem of wealth is in a state of perpetual change. New technologies like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and sustainable energy are already creating the conditions for the next generation of titans to emerge. The landscape is shifting once more. So, we turn the question to you. As you look towards the horizon, who do you believe will adapt and thrive? Which new ventures or visionary individuals will rise to dominate the lists of the next decade? The story of wealth is far from over,